I really want to go live on Instagram. I think I can. I think I gotta get my tripod if I do it. I really want to do my tripod, so I don't know. I don't think Instagram's gonna act right. Instagram could act right. Hey guys, how are you? Come on in. Ooh, it has been a minute. I have been off of Facebook for a couple of days. We're not supposed to be back until tomorrow. And then hello to YouTube. Hey YouTube. Hey Tribe. Hey guys. I'm gonna try to get Instagram on here so they can join because I treat them horribly. And I should be so much better on Instagram, but let me get them on there. Give me a second so I can get into IG on here. We're gonna have basically a class tonight. So if you have time to carve out tonight, or you can save this video and come back to it tomorrow. Hey Kedna, I'm gonna shout you guys on YouTube. Hey Michelle. Hey Restore Your Sparkle. Jamie Joe. Hey guys. Hey Portia. Ash. Hey Jess. Guys, come on in. We're gonna have class tonight. If you do not have your notebooks, I think you should have one tonight. If you're watching on Print School, you can use your YouTube live sheets that came in this month's resource via email for tonight. But tonight is like going to be, we're going to talk money. Like tonight is good. And I was like, I should do a teaching on this, just to kind of spark y'all up. And I was like, you know what? This is a good one. So let me get Instagram. Oh, shoot. This is why Instagram can never act right. Okay, so let me get Instagram set up and we're going to get started in class tonight. Okay, guys, so let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Hopefully no one will try to call me tonight because I'll be teaching. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes. I know people hate people saying that, like, come in the room, but I actually have people in the room tonight. So we're going to get started again. The whole goal, let me put the topic on Instagram. Tonight we're talking about active and passive income in your business. Okay, so let me get Instagram set up right. And we're gonna get started. Okay, and my whole goal tonight is to really stretch how you guys are thinking about your business. We'll talk about why I'm doing tonight's live for many reasons. Okay, I'm gonna give a little bit of time. We're gonna get started. I just want to give you guys enough time to grab notepads and pencils and pens because we're gonna be doing some brainstorming tonight. I'm trying to test a different way to teach actually. That's a lot more interactive and a lot more class style. So I'm actually gonna give you guys time to go grab a notebook. If you have time, go grab one of these. Okay, go grab a pen. And we're going to use tonight to really brainstorm. We're going to use tonight to rethink some of the ways maybe you're running your business. And so, so welcome in. I'm going to introduce myself and we're going to jump in. My name is Genesis Dorsey. I am a serial entrepreneur, literally, and serial, just like you would consider a serial killer when they kill a lot of people. I'm a person that builds a lot of businesses. And so I started back when I'm in my early 20s. I'm 27 now. And so I started with a graphic design business and I was struggling for the first year. My second year, I found the secret sauce and I scaled it and grew it to a 6-figure business. And then I scaled it back down because it was becoming a lot more than what I could chew. And I decided to niche down, and that's where my company is now called Glam Print Go. And then from there, I've launched a consulting company called JenesisDorsey.com and coaching. And then I also have another company that we started really the top of this year called Print School. And that is basically a community that teaches women, fabulous women, how to live their dream lives through passive income and print-based businesses. So planners, journals, online courses, and passive income, which we're going to talk about tonight. And so I have experienced my true expertise is in product development and product development, passive and physical as far as services are based. Because again, I came from the graphic design and web design world, and then of course got into consulting and then product development. So I deal more with products and services and really teaching people how to take that expertise in their heads and really turn it into a well-oiled business. So the goal of tonight, so if you're taking notes, because I want to give you guys, hey, Michelle says she's loving preschool. I'm so glad you guys are loving preschool. My goal is that when I teach, that you actually understand the concepts, but more importantly, I want you to be able to apply what I teach. It means nothing. I am not one of those people where you watch me talk all day and you can't walk away with application, right? The most important thing is that you walk away with application. So I really want these to become videos, and I've taught for many years, but I want these to become videos that you could really take notes and say, okay, this weekend I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Got it? So tonight, if you want to top your someone is trying to FaceTime me right now. Really? Oh, do not disturb. So what happened was I turned do not disturb on my phone, but I did not turn on. Okay, there's a sound. Who is trying to FaceTime me? Don't FaceTime me right now. Okay, sorry guys, I have my iMac, my MacBook, and my iPhone. So I have everything linked, right? Shout out to Apple lovers. So what happens is that my FaceTime and my iMessages, everything's synced. So I had turned on Do Not Disturb on two, but not the other. Okay, so y'all ready for class? So tonight we're talking about active and passive income. We're gonna start off with active income, then we're going to passive income. The reason why we're gonna be teaching on this tonight, or I'm gonna be teaching on this tonight, is because I am realizing that a lot of people are doing too many things. And believe me, I am all into people, having a grind, having a hustle. But what I'm not into is where you have 3 to 5 businesses that don't bring in over 6 figures. Like again, I may offend some people, but there's no use in doing small hustles that don't bring in real revenue, right? And so what I have found in talking to people recently is that I need to go back to teaching some like core basics of understanding the true process of revenue for your business, right? So whether you are someone who, you've been posting content online and you want to launch your personal brand and bring in products and services, you need to take a step back. And my goal with tonight's class is that we're going to take a real step back and say, listen, if I'm going to spend these nights, these sleepless nights, these, long days, we need to make some real money, because a lot of people are teaching these classes, but they're really teaching you how to make chump change. Like, and they're making it a big deal. Like, hey, make a couple hundred every week. And I'm just like, you need to go get a job. Like, it's not worth it. I'm sorry, it's not. So I'm going to teach you tonight. We're going to think real big. And if it scares you, great. If it excites you, great. If you don't need it, hey, hop off and find someone else who does. But tonight we're going to be looking at active and passive income. Now I'm going to first break down what these two mean. You may already know, but I'm going to go back through the basics, because our goal tonight is that even if you do know what these two things are, let's try to think outside the box so that we can stretch our revenue in this year of 2020, right? We are right now, hey, Brianna, we are currently we're still in quarter 1. We have 1 more month left, right? And then we're going to go into quarter 2. There's 4 quarters in a year, right, in business. And you want to make sure that each quarter you're going into, that you're increasing in revenue, that you're increasing in even the way that you innovate in your business. You don't want to be a basic business, okay? So here I can't even talk. I'm so excited. I literally cannot talk. That's how much stuff is in my head. I want to get out. But here's what I want to do. So I want you guys to repeat some phrases for me, just so I can make sure that you're actively watching class tonight, okay? So the first thing is that I want you to comment in the comment section, I'm not a basic business. This is important because I'm about to break down how this works. So I want you to comment in the comment section, whether you're watching Instagram, whether you're watching Facebook or YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, you're watching the replay, type in the comments in the comment section. Just say, I'm not a basic business. I just want to see who's in the room so I can make sure y'all are actively watching class. So just tell me, I didn't know, are you a basic business? Because you need to tell me that you're not. That's the first thing we need to touch on. So I want you to just type in the comments and just say, I'm not a basic business. This is important. Thank you. Okay. Hey, Charlita. Hey, Charlita. Hey, Chase Lois. Hey, girl. Hey, Coach, come back. Hey, Simply Mary 127. Okay, let me see who's active who's in class on Facebook. Hey, Just Raven. Okay, Yvonne Southall says on Facebook, she says, I'm not a basic business. Corinthia says, I'm not a basic business. Chastity says, I'm not a basic business. Now, this is why I want you guys to know this. Hey, Restore Your, oh, y'all are in class on YouTube. Oh, y'all here. Okay, y'all are definitely in class. Y'all are definitely in class. I'm loving this. Okay, awesome. Okay, got it. Tracy says, I'm not a basic business. Okay, hard card. Brandy says, I'm not a basic business. Okay, awesome. So the reason why, Chrissy Jones says, I'm not a basic business. Okay, awesome. The reason why I want you to start off that way is that many times the revenue you're bringing in, hey, I'm not how you, most times when we look at actual revenue models for most businesses, is basic. And when I say basic, I mean the revenue that you have even planned on bringing in is basic. And believe me, I love you, but tonight I'm about to stretch you real wide to rethink. Now, here's the thing I got to tell you. The moment you have now told me that you're not a basic business, I need you to be familiar with a lot of money. I need you to get familiar with that. I know you may seem a little far out, but I just want you to think about what it would feel like for many of you. Some of you guys are already hitting these figures, but imagine if like every month you were bringing in between 10 and 20 grand a month, right? 10 to 20 grand a minimum month. And when I say minimum, I mean in profit. I do not mean, do not mean before expense. I mean in pure profit, you have 10 to 20 grand sitting in the bank. Okay. Because I need you to get used to that thought. And here's the thing, if you're not used to that thought, when we break down active and passive income next, you're not going to be able to fathom this. Because if you cannot fathom making large sums of money, right, it's going to be hard for you to think about how to bring in large sums of money. And this is one of the things I had to break off as a business owner was that one of the reasons why in my first year of having a graphic design business, I was not hitting six figures was because I never even thought about making six figures. So the way that my services, my pricing, my networking, the people I networked with, it was all based on how I thought about my business because I thought I was just a basic business. I have a business. This is my business, what it is. And I was never thinking about, okay, what could I do to bring in, a six-figure income imagine if on my first year I thought about a six-figure business. So the second thing I want you to understand before we get into active and passive income is that do not start from the bottom. Yeah, we're about to get I know you're like, what are we going to get active and passive income? Just wait, because see, it's going to be hard for me to break this down if I cannot bring you through this first step. So first of all, is that you're not basic. The second thing is that stop starting from the bottom. Now let me explain this to people, okay? Okay. I posted this on my Facebook, and I'm thinking about sharing it to my Instagram. I'm thinking about it, okay? I find it really interesting, especially in the minority community, as I post on Facebook, that we have this, you have to start from the bottom mentality. Like you have to charge the lowest prices because you're just starting out, And that's why most minorities in their first year, second year business, they barely survive their third year, and then they quit after their third year, which is for most businesses, the dying year. Usually most businesses do not last after 3 years. And it is because many people have this start from the bottom mentality. So you feel like you have to discount all your prices because you're just starting, you're just starting out. No one knows who you are. You need to start from, no, I don't. Because here's the funny part. When your counterparts who you worked in corporate with or on the job with, when they left their job to start their business, the moment they started their company, they were networking with people who were signing $30,000 contracts for them for one project. Meanwhile, you're like, well, I probably should discount. I probably should just do a free event. So you've been doing everything free. You've been going to free. Everything has been so cheap for you because you have thought about yourself as a basic business, as a cheap business. And so that's why for some people, it's been hard for you to go into six figures easily because you have this, I have to start from the bottom and nobody knows me. Just because no one knows you does not mean that somehow you need to charge less. The reason why people don't know you is the fact is that you're new, right? It's like, for instance, if I move into a neighborhood and I'm new, does that mean that somehow I should have less privileges because I moved into the neighborhood and I'm brand new? No. I pay the same homeowners association fee as so-and-so down the block. And so just because I'm new does not mean that I'm not discounting anything, right? So just because you're new does not mean you should get less benefits than someone else. No, it means that you're just new. And here's the funny thing for many of you, you've had your expertise for the longest time. It's just that now you're starting a business. So technically, your experience is not new. It's just that you just filed your LLC 3 months ago. That's it. But was your experience new? You know, if I've been baking out of my house for 30 years and I decided to start a bakery this year, I'm not technically new. I've been baking for 30 years. It's just that finally I have a commercial kitchen now. I can now package my food in. Got it? So your experience is actually what validates you, not your existence. Okay, say this one again. Your experience is what validates you, not your existence. And some of you are running your business off of the low self-esteem attached to your existence. But again, we'll save that for another live. Okay, now let's get into active and passive income. The reason why I had to open this way with this kind of framework is because many times when we think about active and passive income, you're thinking about these terms very cheaply, right? So now let's break down active and passive income. Some of you guys already know what this is, but again, my job is to stretch how you're thinking about how you're making your money. The first thing is that I want you to look at one business during this live. I don't want you to look at multiple. Let's just look at one business at a time, okay? One business at a time. And here is the trick I'm about to give you. You want to look at what is right now your most profitable business. I had to learn this year. I haven't learned this for several years, but this year I had to really sharpen my focus. You do not have time to run yourself ragged in your businesses. So if you have all these side hobbies right now that are running you ragged, you're not bringing in some real checks that can actually help pay a full mortgage and not like, oh, I made $100 this month, I made $200. That's not enough. Okay, so we need to focus on which one is making the real money or has the potential. When we then look at that business, we then need to break apart the revenue into 2 different areas, at least for right now. You could have several other ones. We're going to first look at active and then passive. Active income is the income where you have to show up in order to make it. So let's break down what this is. Number 1 is service-based models, right? Where you show up to perform a service, or maybe you show up online to perform a service, right? Okay. But you have to be physically present. Okay. And then the other thing this could be is coaching. It could be consulting. It could be, where, you have to physically be in a place to sell a product or service, right? So that's active income. You have to be physically present. Another form of active income is even when, you hire staff and they have to be present in order for something to be sold or exchanged, right? So active is where there has to be a physical presence in order for an exchange of goods and services. Active income, right? So one thing you need to figure out is, number 1, what are my top active income streams? Okay, because when we talk about multiple streams of income, a lot of people have this in the wrong structure, right? Because really you should be figuring out your business having streams of income, right? Forget about you having these multiple streams. Let's first make sure that your mainstream is healthy. Like, in my opinion, if your mainstream is not bringing over, I would say at least 250,000 to maybe 5, maybe you should rethink, trying to stretch out your energy, to be honest, in my personal opinion, because if I'm going to move my energy into another company, I need to make sure that me not having so much focus in the first company can handle me missing for a couple hours, right? Like, I had to make sure that before I handle print school, that my company Glam Print Go can handle the fact that I'm not going to be present, with all of my clients 24/7, right? So because Glam Print Go is very healthy, I then can move on to working on print school. But it would be very negligent to try to build out another business, right? And my first business is pretty much poor. Let's just be honest. You can actually build multiple poor businesses, but yet call yourself an entrepreneur. Okay, so you got to be careful. It's not about how many businesses you build. It's about which ones are healthy. So active income is, what are the services or ways that you provide products or services where you have to be physically present? So you want to list those. And what you actually want to know is how much revenue came in last year or has come in thus far in those avenues. So for instance, if I'm a coach, okay, if I do consulting, or let's say coaching programs, how much money came in strictly through consulting this quarter? How much money came strictly through coaching this quarter? What kind of coaching services did I offer and which ones were the most popular? So you need to begin to see where these streams of income are actually coming in. If I sell products, services, hair, jewelry, food, whatever, okay? So out of my active income, how much money came in through these different products or services? Were earrings my #1 bestseller so far this quarter? Were my, Peruvian bundles the most popular ones? I need to know where all the revenue is coming in to make sure I'm spending the right amount of energy. You may say, hey, we need to order, 2 more shipments of a product, but you need to look at the revenue and say, oh, actually, no, we don't, because these numbers not lining up right. Okay, right? So you need to know exactly where your money is coming in. Now, if you say, Gigi, listen, Gigi, no money's coming in. Like, I'm not making anything. Okay, now we're about to have an honest moment, okay, because we're in class. So you can say something, and believe me, no one's going to judge you because we're in class. How many of you right now are struggling? Like, you have not hit any of the numbers you have wanted to hit the top of 2020. Like, show of hands, and we got to be real because we have to help each other, okay? And we have to be honest. So how many of you are like, Genesis, nothing is working? Like, nothing. Like, I hear you, and I've been trying some stuff, but nothing is working. Like I'm not hitting nothing. I'm not hitting nothing. I'm not hitting nothing. Nothing on the wall is sticking. I'm throwing stuff on there. Nothing is sticking, right? So that's an honest moment. Okay, so I'm seeing hands on Instagram. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, listen, Kendra, we working on that one. Okay, we working on that one. So let me break down for you the lessons on active income. Okay, let's bring down the lessons on how active income can actually be generated, okay? Because active income is one of those things we have to realize that you are, especially if you're, how many of you are solopreneurs? Where like you are like the only one working this business. Like you're the only one working this business. Okay, I'm seeing hands. Okay. So if you are a solopreneur, right, as well as, you know, someone that's kind of starting this ground, kind of working the ground in your business, one of the reasons why active income is truly like a test of like all willpower and being a business owner is because as a solopreneur, you kind of have to work all the ends and edges, right? You have to figure like where all the holes are in the boat, okay? And the first thing I'm going to highly recommend for those of you who are solopreneurs is where are your relationships at? Okay, you know, back in the day, we call them the Rolodex, right? Every great business owner, you have a great, powerful Rolodex, right? But one of the issues I have identified for many new entrepreneurs to why they're struggling many times in their businesses is because they do not have strong relationships or a network. In other words, you run your business as if you are hiding in a corner. Okay, or you are popular, but the people you're talking to don't have any money, or they're not going to be an investor or a connection to help you grow your business. That to me is probably one of the most powerful things. If you think about it, like if I have a clothing business, right? And I'm like, okay, I got to get my foot in the door. I got to get some connections. Well, have you built up profitable connections? Or do you just know a whole bunch of people that don't have any money or don't have anything to connect to give you, right? So you need to first build up your connections. The first thing I wish I would have done when I ran my graphic design business the first year, I got it the second year, but the first year was that I wish I would have been a connector my first year, right? If I would have spent more time in my first year actually networking in profitable environments, not just free events, but paid environments, going to conferences, like taking out the time and not rush my business, I would have had a six-figure year the first year. I would have had it the first year because it took me being in a coffee shop, being around someone who was talking the right language for me to realize that at number one, I was charging the wrong prices. Like I was actually charging the wrong prices. So this is why the first thing I'm going to tell you is that if you're struggling right now, you need to get in non-struggling environments just to expose yourself to good relationships. Because good relationships opens up good doors. It really does. But a lot of times what we do is that we hide behind corners and we try to build a business. Say, hey guys, who wants to buy my products? You know, who wants to support me? And really you're talking to people who don't have any money. You're talking to the wrong people. And we talked about this in a live that I did with Jay, but the first thing you should do before you even like go out here and go, you know, ham on your business is you need to build up connections. Your LinkedIn should be powerful. Your business sale, you should have great connections built up. Like you should have connections like crazy. If I sell clothing, I should be talking to boutiques who can stock my clothing as wholesale, maybe if that's the route you want to take. You know, I should be talking to, VIP clients who I know who maybe I can style and send them clothing. I should start connecting with influencers. I should start building up relationships first before I decide, okay, let me go out here and go crazy, right? Build up relationships. That's the first thing if you're struggling. Build up healthy relationships. The second thing is that you have to expose yourself to people, right? And sometimes what I have found is that we're putting the products before the people. right? Which is why I tell you guys, and this is not even for active income. This is really for any business, right? The first thing you want to do is build up your community. Any business, build up the community first. You guys know I teach this to you, right? So that means that your first year of business, it may not be truly profitable, but you shouldn't really be spending too much money yet on the business because you really want to build up the people, right? Your tribe, especially if, you are a local business, you want to really start connecting within your community, meeting people, talking to people, do that groundwork before you just open up something. Right? So that is something that I highly recommend for anyone who's struggling. You need to upgrade your relationships. You need to upgrade where you're talking to, who you're meeting, who you're spending time to. Connect with groups on meetup.com. Look on Eventbrite. Don't go to the same events you went to last year. Find good events that will expose you to people that you need to be in the room with. You guys got me? Okay. So with active income, we know that active income is where, again, we are using our physical energy to generate revenue. Right? That is active income. So you need to make sure, number one, that like we talked about, what are my current active income streams and how much revenue are they bringing in? You could have too many active income streams that are actually eating up the top active income streams, right? So like, for instance, when I started my graphic design business, I was offering like 30 different things that we could provide for clients. Way too much, way too many services, especially as a solopreneur. So I looked at my top 3 ones and I said, okay, these are the most profitable. Let me focus on just these top 3. And because those were the most profitable, by focusing in on those because they were the top ones, I was able to maximize my active energy. Now, if you sell products, it's a little bit different, but the same thing goes for some people who run boutiques and you overstock on merchandise, right? Because you just want to buy a whole bunch of stuff. But maybe you should look at the trends of your clientele and say, hey, my clientele is really loving these kinds of products. Let me test out focusing on maybe, these types of pieces instead of focusing on, let me just buy a whole bunch of clothes, right? That may not sell. So we want to look at what is our community doing? What does the revenue say? Really, you want to look at the numbers, right? But the other thing about active income is that I should also think about within active income, right? How can I innovate what I'm already doing? So this is now going to be a brainstorm time. So what I want you to do is in your notepad, or if you're on your computer, whatever, I want you every quarter to have an assessment, like at the end of every quarter, or if you didn't do something at the end of 2019, you need to do it right now, because we do not want to go into 2020 all messed up in our business. I want you to think about, okay, in what I'm offering right now as an active income business, it means that you're selling products or you're selling services, right? How can I innovate or make better the products or services that I currently offer, right? And this could be as simple as looking at what happened last year or what happened the past 30 days, right? And you need at least 30 days to get some actual, something to actually make changes based off of. It being 3 days and not working is not enough. Give it enough time. And you may say, you know what I am seeing is that my clients are really loving this. And, they've been asking about this. And, I really see a void in the market for this. So let me see if I can test some things to see, right? This is why many companies have what's called R&D, right? Research and development, right? Because in order to stay innovative in your business, remember, you're not a basic business. So you also want to think about, okay, how can I innovate? And the way that you innovate is by looking at voids in your current market and seeing if you can meet those voids. So this is why we look at trends in the marketplace. This is why we look at things that are happening around us, not just in your business, but around you. A lot of companies were wiped out by Amazon because they were not rethinking or being innovative about how do people order items, right? The fact of convenience, people were not asking certain questions. And so Amazon may have started as a bookstore, but their innovation made them the #1 distribution product online e-commerce business. Got it? So, you may start out as one thing, but innovation can bring you to a whole nother level if you think about, okay, how is the world working within my market? So this is why too, if you want to make more money than what you're making, you need to look at how do people purchase the products that I sell, right? How do people shop for the products or services that I provide? How are people finding out about the products that I provide? How can I be where my clients are? And this is why you have to know who your clients are, because if you have a clientele that is like a rural client between their 50s and 70s, they live in the country, they think a lot differently, because I grew up in the country. They think a lot differently than a downtown millennial 23-year-old who, you know, is on Snapchat 24/7, right? They're going to think completely differently, and they shop completely differently, right? You know, so when you really look at who you're meant to serve and the products that you sell, you need to figure out like what's happening in my current market and in the world or the lives of my clientele that there are voids right now that I could snatch and get. Like, for instance, I am a curvy plus size girl, right? And in the plus size community, there are a ton of voids, right? And it's being filled by certain pockets, right? But one of the things I have really found out is that in the health side, so for instance, as a plus size girl, right? There aren't like things dedicated to me, right? Like, so like, let's say I wanted a chef cookbook as like a fit girl, like a fit girl's guide to cooking, or if I wanted, some kind of like thing, I don't know, just specialized products, right? For girls like me, right? It was funny. I was talking to another girl at Nordstrom's. I went bra shopping and, I go to the gym, I work out. Right. And so when I go on treadmills, I don't like to run because I'm a little chesty. And so, when I run, you know what I mean? And so I was like, do I need to buy 3 bras to like hold these things down? I know there's a little too much information, but it's the truth, right? It's a market. And so it's funny because like when you think about voids for a particular market, those are products that can be sold a certain way that can fill a void and is innovative for a current market, right? And of course you got to do your product research and things like that. But you need to think about how people are shopping. So guess what? I went on Instagram and I was looking at hashtags to see if I could find products right on Instagram, right? Because we're buying products on Instagram, at least for my age bracket, right? I went on Amazon, I was Googling, looking for articles, and so it's like, for what you do and for what you offer, how can you be innovative for people to find out your active income services? Got it? Okay. Now, with active income can only be scaled by a few things. The first thing is by hiring others, right? Because as a solopreneur, you only have so much willpower and honestly, like, brain capacity and energy capacity. So one of the things you want to work into is that if you currently provide services where you as a solopreneur have to be present, you need to begin planning now for hiring others. Planning now, not later, now. Because as I teach, and I've taught this in many classes, people always say, oh, I cannot wait till I have staff. And then I said, well, how much do you need to generate right now to have staff? They don't have a number. And then I tell them blank to their face, you're not going to hire anyone soon or anytime yet, because until you know what you need, you will never have it. Uh-oh. Let me go back. Can I say that one again? Until you know what you need, you will never have it. I'm gonna say that one more. That's a quote. I need to break. I'm gonna post that on Instagram. Don't steal it now. Okay. But anyway, until you know what you need, you'll never have it because you'll never plan to have it. Got it? So if I asked you, and you say, oh, just one day I would love to have office space. I would love to have, okay, how much does it cost? What do you need to obtain it? Because if you don't know that, then in your business, and as you build your business, you will not build your business accordingly to bring in the revenue to buy a building because you don't even know what it costs. So then you're not going to scale your company accordingly, right? So in order to hire, right, if I said, okay, what do you need? You're like, I really need a part-time assistant. Okay. What are you going to pay them? How are you going to pay them? Because in order to pay them, if let's say, you pay them $12 an hour part-time, so a couple hours a day or a couple hours a week, what is that? Okay, how much then revenue would you need to bring in additionally into your business on top of you being on payroll? Or do you need to sacrifice payroll to bring somebody else on? And if you do sacrifice payroll as far as paying yourself, right, are you going to be good? Right? So you have to think about those moving pieces. But a lot of times in order for us to grow our business, you do need help. So you need to plan for hiring. Okay, so you need to look at your state policies when it comes to hiring, the processes and procedures for hiring, the state laws for hiring, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, right? Because in order to scale a lot of times active income or even honestly passive income, you're going to need help. And so I want you guys to think big now and think about, okay, my business needs to bring in an additional this month if I want to have a hire per month at this rate, right? So think about those kind of things. The other thing I want to talk about before we go to passive income with active income is that you do not need to burn yourself tired building your business and active income. A lot of times you need to rethink how you work. Okay. Some of you tell me all the time, I'm just so tired. And in my head, I'm thinking, no, you're overworking. Like you're doing too much for nothing. I know this is kind of like hard to hear, but again, these are things I wish someone would tell me when I started my business. There are some activities right now in your business that are a waste of your time, and you need to eliminate, as I call it, fruitless activity. Look, you need to really figure out what are you doing in your business that is fruitless. There are some things you're in your business that have not paid off, and they're not going to pay off, because when you look at it, you know in your heart of hearts, you need to stop doing that. Like you need to stop paying for that membership blank, blank, blank here because you haven't been using it. Or you need to stop purchasing these types of, products that you never use for your business. So you need to eliminate what's draining your active energy, because you only have so much active energy a day, right? In your business. So you need to eliminate. That's why I said sometimes you're offering services that are an actual waste of your time. Perfect examples that in my graphic business, when I was running it, web design was our biggest seller, along with like branding packages. So it made no sense for us to offer a la carte, all these other services. When we bundled them together and sold them, we made way more revenue. So I was actually wasting time doing a la carte services. I was, because instead of me focusing this whole hour, I could have been working on a package that brought in several thousand, right? Instead of me working on something that was bringing $150, right? So you have to think about, what in my business, what kind of services, active ones, am I doing that may be draining me of making more money? Remember, not all activity we do is actually profitable activity. There are some things, you're making money off of, but it's not enough money for you to waste it on. You guys got that? Okay, great. Now let's talk about passive income. Again, our goal is for this to be like an overview, but it's for us to start really scratching the surface. And I'm going to give you guys homework after tonight's live for you guys to really execute. Okay, let's talk about passive income. What is my favorite? Okay, passive income is where we're making money but with minimal effort. Now I need to define what minimal effort is, because a lot of gurus in these Instagram and social media streets have lied to y'all and made y'all think that passive income is easy money. There's nothing easy about passive income. The way it's created is easy, but there's nothing easy about passive income. Passive income is so many different things. At the end of the day, passive income, though, is by definition something that you put minimal effort into, and usually it's going to bring back a larger return. Okay. Now, there's a difference, though, between, in my opinion, passive income, and then you can look at passive income and divide that out into recurring income, like memberships, software, subscriptions, things like that, where you have a product that you're using all the time, right? But you're paying for it on a monthly model. Now, if we look at many business models that are expanding right now, we're seeing a ton of subscription. But how many of you are currently a part of a subscription-based model as a customer? How many of you are currently, in other words, you pay for something monthly? And that is not like utility bills, y'all. Utility bills are not subscriptions. I mean, they are, but it's not. I'm talking about something like Netflix, iTunes Music, maybe you get a BoxyCharm, Amazon Prime is a subscription model, right? Okay, got it. Okay, cool. So I'm not talking about utility bills. A mortgage is not a recurring. Okay, I'm talking about a monthly. How many of you guys are investing in a monthly subscription? Okay, great. So the thing about it is that you have to look at your business. Now, not every business should be offering a subscription model. This is important. This is very important. So just because we're bringing up examples does not mean that your business fits that model, okay? But we want to look at, for us, okay, how are we breaking out passive income? We're putting in minimal effort. We're getting a whole lot out, right? Someone mentioned real estate. Yeah. So like, for instance, if you own an apartment complex, you have a property manager. Every month, you're bringing in revenue, right? That's an example of passive income. Real estate, as far as like monthly revenue, that is an example of passive income. Now, what's not passive income is where you're out here like, flipping houses. Flipping houses that's not passive income. That's not. Now, earning from those houses are passive income. Doing construction is not. Okay. So you're running like a construction business. That's a service-based business. That's not passive income. But as far as owning properties and then generating revenue from those properties as owning them, that is passive income. Got it? So with passive income, we have subscription models, we have real estate, right? We have recurring memberships, which is kind of like subscriptions, but I'm explaining the difference. You can also have within passive income, resources that you make once sell forever. So in the product-based world, we have memberships, we have online courses, we have e-downloads, workbooks. Books are passive income, right? Because I write it once, create it forever, right? So there's a lot of different ways to create passive income. What you want to do is you want to look at your business and say, okay, here are my active income streams. Now, you may not have any active income streams. Maybe your business is solely passive income, right? So you can build what kind of ever business you want to, but you need to make sure you know what you're doing. So when we look at passive, okay, what are things in my business that we're offering, right, that are passive income based? Now, remember, not every business should be offering passive income. For instance, if you sell, let's say products of some kind, like clothing, for instance, right? A lot of clothing companies, larger ones, are offering subscription-based models. For instance, Nordstrom has, I think it's called the Trunk Club, right? Where you can subscribe. We have Stitch Fix, a lot of clothing companies where Rent the Runway, right? Where you can rent clothing for a monthly charge fee. And then, but the thing about those kind of business models is that you have to think about the consequences of running those models. Like, for instance, clothing being torn, pieces going missing, some kind of liability or insurance for products that are no longer returned back, right? So, when we look at certain models, like they work, but it comes with a flip side to them, right? So this is why you want to make sure that you have a healthy business model before you may want to expand into that, right? Like, let's make sure we first have our active income before we decide we want to launch a subscription box, right? Which is why for many people, you have to look at both ends. So you may not need to do passive income, but if you do decide to do passive income, again, what's going to be the way that we bring in revenue through passive income? And what you want to do is you want to start small. I know this may seem like the wrong thing to say, but it's the truth. You want to start with like testing a few passive income models and then really making those good. And then expanding. Do not expand fast, expand through patience, okay? Because a lot of times, especially as small business owners, right, unless you have a ton of cash flow, a ton of capital, investors backing you, right? Even with investors backing you, you don't want to scale fast unless like you have the right structures and systems in place for that. So let's first test out like a few. Right? And then go from there, right? So Miss Jess says, do you think a membership would be good for a photo booth business? I think that it would be good for offering it as a, like, for instance, so as a B2B, right? Like, so let's say I am, your business sells to other companies, right? For them to use your photo booths for their events. I would offer it to businesses that have a ton of events, and it could be a great upsell that instead of them buying your photo booth service at a one-time cost, you could offer it to them at like a monthly membership so that like every month, they're paying an amount and, it's coming out and they're, so let's say for instance, I'm a company and I use your photo booth, business every weekend, right? So instead of me paying you like, every weekend I pay, I don't know how much you charge, but whatever that is per month. And I got, let's say 4 rentals per month, right? So in that kind of instance, now you need to test it. So that means that you need to talk to, other businesses that you currently work with and say, hey, we're thinking about offering a membership or a membership model, is this something that you think that you would be interested in as a business? I would get enough businesses that are interested and then test it out. I wouldn't fully, have it as like your permanent ongoing. I would first make sure we have enough people in the pot who want it and then test it out. Okay. And you also have to make sure that it makes sense from a revenue model perspective, because when we look at membership products, especially for those of you who want to do memberships of subscription boxes, what is the number one word? Does anyone, it starts with an R. Does anyone know what the number one word is when it comes to membership models? It starts with an R. I don't think, someone may guess, someone may not. Okay, but this is the number one reason why for many businesses, they don't do well at subscription-based models because of the word retention. Yeah, you have to retain them. So if you think about it, the thing about membership is that, think about it like gym memberships, right? You have return on investment, but the word is retainment. Think about gym memberships, right? when you look at a gym membership, everyone gets so excited at the top of the year, right? You see all these like, Planet Fitness start for $1, right? And the reason why is that when you look at the contracts, y'all need to listen, stop looking at businesses like consumers and start looking at businesses like an actual owner, right? Like an actual owner. Because when I joined Planet Fitness, for instance, I looked at how their contracts were set up. So for instance, when you sign up, they have it, and I have to make sure this is right, but I know with Planet Fitness, it's like connected with like your ACH bank account. I don't think you can connect a card. It's like connected to like your bank account. And a lot of times it's an annual membership for certain things, for certain types of products. And there's a reason why. You got to remember, there is a reason why, okay? So like with my Planet Fitness, I gotta like go through this. I have to refresh my memory. But the way it works is that, see, they need a guarantee that they're gonna make a certain amount of revenue through recurring membership, because I could quit, right? And let's say I quit the next month, bam, a member drops off. You now have just lost this much per month, right? And so we get excited because we want to have, like, I want to have a membership. I want to have a whole bunch of people. But let's say 5 people drop off next month. You just lost. If I charge $20 a month, I just lost $100 in revenue. So, hold on, wait. So you have to think about retention, right? So this is why we tell people, when I talk about subscription-based models, memberships, for many people, the best time to start a membership is actually when you have a large pot of people, and then you start a membership club, right? So like, I would not start a membership club with 0 people. I would build up my tribe to several thousand and then say, okay, do y'all want a membership? Okay. And then I'm going to make sure I get enough people who are interested, and then say, hey, if this is how much I charge for it, how many of you would sign up tomorrow, right? Or sign up for the next week. And if I get enough people, okay, let me start testing it. Okay. Because remember, retention is big. And so this is why, in my opinion, passive income does not always mean easy income. Because if you think about recurring income, like for instance, Planet Fitness offers a recurring business model, but it's very much an active income-based business, because in order for people to get a gym membership, like they have to have staff, like cleaning, you got to have the bathrooms, like you may set up the equipment. The equipment has to be like, fixed if it breaks down, right? So like some of these things are not truly like passive income. Like, it may have a recurring business model, but it's not really passive income, right? Another thing about it is that like running a membership group is not necessarily passive income, right? It's passive income in the sense that, yes, it's like easy to generate, but not really, because if you have to continuously feed your tribe, and you're physically showing up or physically creating content, is it actually easy earning money, right? So this is why a lot of gurus, they try to sell passive income like, hey, here are easy ways to start making money. Start a membership club, sell ebooks. Okay, well, you go, okay, sell an ebook. How many ebooks do you need to sell though to make $5,000 a year? Sorry, $5,000 a month. Well, you need some people. So when we talk about active and passive income, we need to have realistic visions in our head that all of this takes work, and there is no such thing as easy money. I have people come to me all the time and say, oh, Genesis, what's the easiest thing I can do to run my business? And I look at them and I say, nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. Nothing. People come to me and say, oh, Genesis, you know what? It's so hard to print t-shirts, so I'm going to do a print-on-demand business. Okay, that's fine. You still have to bring the people. I don't care whether you print your shirts yourself, whether the Tooth Fairy prints them, or whether you print them on Printful, Printify. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you make your shirts from. You need people to buy them. So the work is still there, right? Like, okay, oh, just, what? I want to write books because it's so easy to write a book versus, doing, okay, great. You still have to sell your books. So whether you write them, whether, the Holy Ghost wrote them on a weekend at the park, you still have to sell them. So you still need the same amount of people, whether you wrote it or someone else wrote it, it still takes work. So when we look at active income versus passive income, yes, passive income seems like a walk in the park because you make it once, so, oh, great. But you still have to put in the work because you still got some people. So again, tonight was like a scratch, like we're going to scratch the surface. We're going to be doing a lot more talks of this. I've been getting so many people saying, just as when you going back to like your live talks at night, things like that. And so we're getting back to it. So shout out to YouTube. You guys have been rocking with me strong. Shout out to Instagram and Facebook. So let's recap, okay, because we're done. So we have active income and passive income. Your homework this weekend, that's what I was trying to do it tonight, because that week you get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to work on work, and we come back next week. I can't promise when I'm going to do another one of these, but I'm trying to do one once a week at nighttime, because it's kind of like when I'm in the perfect mode. So this weekend, you need to analyze your active and passive income streams. You need to make sure that you are eliminating active income streams that are not truly profitable. And I'm going to say this once, and I will say this again: stop hustling. I love hustle, like, don't get me wrong. But hustle, in my opinion, hustling for me is about the grind itself. It's not about the work activity, right? So let me give you a perfect example. And this is probably a bad example, but usually when we talk about hustlers, we think about the streets, right? The goal is not to remain a corner boy. I know this may be a little street, but I'm not from the streets, but I've watched enough BET movies to understand what some of these concepts mean. So your job is not to be a hustler by your work activity, right? Because no one wants to be a corner boy, right? The whole goal is to be like Tony Montana. You know what I mean? Like, the whole goal is to be the king. Like, you know, the movies that we watch that glorify that lifestyle is never about like the corner. It's about, you may start at the corner, but the goal is to be at the top, right? So, and we think about, for instance, Power. You know, the goal is not to be a street corner. The goal is to be Ghost, right? I mean, not with his timeline or storyline, but y'all get the point. So the thing about it is that you need to stop hustling. And again, I don't mean hustling by the mind. I think that people need to be a hustler in their mind, because most people are not hustlers. And that's one of the reasons why they are not good at their business, because they don't have that hunger. Like, if you are hungry, please don't come to my table. Like, I don't like people like, you know, when you go out to eat, I just want a salad. You know what? Go to Applebee's down the street. Go get a salad. But I did not come, okay, out to eat, get dressed up, do my makeup so that you can have a salad across from me, okay? I need you to be, just get a steak, sis, okay? Get some food on your thighs, okay? I'm not going to sit here, though. You order a salad, you're done in 5 bites, and I'm over here still milling for 20 minutes. Okay, you have to be hungry. And that's why I believe that the hustle should be for the hunger. However, you should not be a hustler with, like, in your business, you offer like 20 different services. I'm tired of people that tell me, oh, girl, I do this, we do that, we do this, girl, I do everything. I don't think you should do everything. I don't think that's smart. I think it's smart if everything in every stream is profitable. Like, if you tell me you do 5 things and each of those 5 things are bringing in over 100 grand per activity, that makes sense. That makes a ton of sense. I think you should do that. However, if you're doing 5 different things and one of them brings in $50, the other one brings in $10,000, the other one brings in $500, and then the other one brings in like $10, I think you should eliminate like the bottom level activity, and maybe you should focus on the 10 grand activity, right? So you need to follow the money trail. If you know that things are a waste of time, listen, sis, listen, bro, cut it. You need to cut it. Okay, that's why I gotta be delivered. You need to cut it. That's what the song says. Cut it up. Okay, so you need to cut it. Okay, so the first thing is you need to cut it. We're gonna start with that. So this weekend, look at your active and passive income streams. You need to cut it. Cut off all the activity that does not make sense in your companies. If you are, as a solopreneur or freelancer, if you're doing work that is taking up time and energy that is not profitable, maybe that should be a hobby. It should not be a business activity, right? So let's look at that. The second thing is that for those of you who desire to hire, so you would like to scale your businesses, what did I say? You cannot have what you do not prepare for, right? So if you're like, Genesis, I would love to hire a part-time or full-time, staff member. Do you know what you need to do in your number side of your business to bring in that hire? Remember, hiring people is how you grow your companies, right? I mean, there's no doubt about that. We're going to skip over and just trying to prove that. You need to hire people. But in order to hire, you need to understand what your business needs to look like. I tell people the greatest thing you can do is hustle to have help. That's what I put in the grind to get to hire somebody. So that way you can get someone who can take over what you were doing, and then you can focus on the next activity, right? But when you are so focused on being in your business that you're not thinking about hiring people, again, you're going to end up 10 years down the road in a business that is running you ragged because you did not pause to look at your business, look at how you were making your revenue, edit, Cut out the things that are wasting your time to then hire. Some of you should have hired 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But you've been so stuck in your business that, and also too, you have a problem with delegating and getting help that you have not helped yourself. Right? So making sure that you're looking at what you need to do. Lastly, we talked about passive income. We talked about, it can be in the real estate area. It can be, changing how your model works. One of my favorite movies to watch, some people say they have issues with it. I don't care. I love it. It's Founder, right? If you want some movie homework this weekend, or you've already seen the movie, go watch it again this weekend. Watch The Founder. Okay. It's on Netflix. It's a story about Ray Kroc. And of course, with McDonald's, as he bought the company McDonald's from these two brothers. Here's the thing though, right? When you look at that movie, the greatest move that McDonald's made was becoming a franchise. He was dirty. He was wrong. But you know what? Here's the thing, Simply Mary 127. I gotta think of, here's the other thing though. He may have been wrong, and he was wrong in many ways. But the other thing is that he saw something though that they did not see. And this is the thing about it. He was dirty. Yes, he was wrong. But I'll be honest, those brothers, they were so stuck on what they had that they forgot about where they could have went. So yes, I think that they could have countered some of the things that he was doing, but they also had to get out of the fact that the way that McDonald's has become the business that it has become is that they stopped thinking small. Right? So McDonald's won when they became a franchise. McDonald's would have not won if they would have. This is big for some of you guys. Some of you are so stuck on being in your one place that you could be like McDonald's in your industry if that's what you want to be, but you're so stuck on one place, right? So, and also to one type of business model. Right? So McDonald's want to be this cute place at a couple locations, where they lived, all that was great. But if you watch The Founder, you will understand the real game for McDonald's was the real estate, was changing how they were making money and changing the idea of opening it up for people to invest and to start their businesses, right? So again, the other thing I want you guys to do is think about how can you have innovation in your business? Okay, so let's go through your homework. Your homework this week is look at active and passive income streams. Our job is to eliminate, cut out activity. We also want to make sure that we are becoming innovative in our activities, making sure that if we need to hire, that we're getting those numbers down. Matter of fact, not just hiring. How many of you guys want office space? Like, you need to figure out what you need to do this month to get the office space. Like everything that you want in your business is not far off. Stop saying that you're going to have it one day. No, you will not have it one day. Let's plan it out. Okay. Like I remember when my first year of business, like, one day I'm going to have this, one day I'm going to have that. I looked at how much money I was making. I said, wait, I could have been had that if I would have done this, and that. So stop telling me that one day you're going to buy the warehouse. No. You're going to have the warehouse. Let's figure out how much it costs. I want you to go on, tours. I want you to call some commercial real estate people, figure out on average how much it will cost, figure out what you need, figure out how much insurance is going to be, figure out what it is, and then factor those numbers in and say, okay, if I'm going to purchase this, I then need to bring in a revenue amount of this much. Okay. And then how am I going to get there? Okay. So this is why we go into relationships. So, hey, I need then to start changing my clientele to this kind of, clientele. So I need to go to this conference. I need to prepare to fly out to this place. I need to then schedule a distribution meeting with this person. Okay. I need to then think about, okay, I need to probably scale out my operations. So then I got to bring this over here. Got it? So nothing is afar off. You just need to plan it out. Okay. And then lastly, your homework. And for Kendall, the movie is called The Founder. Okay, it is on Netflix. You can also, I'm sure it's on different places, but it's called The Founder. It's a great movie, okay? The last thing is that this weekend, I want you to remember what your goals are. When I say goals, I do not mean your business goals, because you should already know what those are. The last thing I want you to think about is marinate before you go to sleep tonight. I want you to marinate, okay? And I'm doing this myself. You need to do it yourself. Don't spend all this time in your business that you forget what the big picture is. And I'm not talking about your business, I'm talking about your life, like what you want out of life. I asked my YouTube community for this $50 giveaway I'm doing. I could have asked them many things, but the number one question I wanted to ask them was that, what is your dream life? Because our goals in business are not to just like, no one is like, oh my gosh, I want to run business all day. I mean, even for those of us who love business, it gets tiring. Like no one's thinking about it 24/7. Even if you are thinking about 24/7, I think all of us want something outside of that we want to relax in. And I want you to remember what all of this is for. Because you're gonna have moments, and many of us are having these moments now down the road. It gets tiring. Entrepreneurship is like, it is not just a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster on top of another roller coaster on top of another roller coaster. But many of us, we love it, right? So that's why we do it. Because even though I'm scared of heights, I don't even know why I'm in business and I'm scared of heights. But I soar other types of heights. Okay, let me not say that. I soar other types of heights. But you want to think about why you're doing what you're doing. This is big, because when you lose your imagination for what you want out of life, you will then you're going to lose the sparkle, the real creativity that comes out of your passion, right? So don't think about, oh my God, I want to make a whole bunch of money, even though you should be thinking about that. You should also be thinking about, okay, like I'm doing all this because of this. Because many people quit because they don't have any bigger goal outside of having a business. Like for me, my biggest desire is that I really want to build out. Some of you guys know this. Some of you guys have been following me for a very long time, especially on Facebook. So you guys know some of my personal desires. But my biggest desire and why I do all this, and I joke about it, but y'all know I'm not joking, is that I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm not married yet. Okay. Well, it's coming though. It's coming. But I'm not married yet. And as a single woman, my biggest personal desire is that I want to be a stay-at-home mom and a homemaker. Like that's why I'm building all these companies for. That's my personal desire. Now, for some other people, they want to like buy the Benz, and I'm all for that. Listen, I'm all for that. Okay, I'm all for the big house. If you want to live in a tiny home, if you want to live in a cockroach home that's made for 2 rats, listen. If you want to live in a house that's this big, listen. If you want to be a nomadic traveler with a laptop, in the Himalayas, okay. But whatever your desires are, keep that in front. Because when you have those nights where you're about to kill somebody on the low, you think about being on the next 48 hours, okay, you're going to think, you know what, for me personally, I cannot wait till I have my 3 little beautiful children, okay? And I built businesses that I don't have to worry about one single thing. Like I don't have to worry about their education. I don't worry about college. Like I want to have it to where the moment that I have them, their college is already paid for because the bank accounts and the trust funds, the moment they pop out, baby, I'm taking that newborn baby right to my investment company. I'm saying, listen, guys, set a trust fund for this one right here, even though it's going to probably already be set up. Anyways, I'm just saying, I want it to be where the money has already been established. And so they already have 400 to 500 grand set aside for college. Like that's what I'll eat. So just in case a scholarship slips through, baby, we got you. I want to have it to where I can be with my kids. That's why I'm writing all these books now. Like people are like, why are you writing all these books? Because I don't got to write when I have the kids. I've written 4 books. I'm working on these workbooks and courses. I'm doing it because that's my personal desire. So that by the time I hit my 30s, I can coast. So this is why I want you to think about whatever your personal desires are. I want you to rock with those. And I do not want you guys to think about, I do not want you guys to be in a state, where, you have forgotten why you're doing what you're doing. Keep that in the forefront. Keep that in the very front of your mind. And here's what I do every night, just to kind of give you guys some insider tips. Okay. Every night before I go to bed, this is like right after I pray, I literally close my eyes and I think about my lifestyle. That's every single night. I don't know what my kids gonna look like. I don't know what my man gonna look like. Okay. But I do picture myself like being in like, of course, like a beautiful office space. I see my team of assistants. Like the Bible says for us to literally to write the vision, make it plain. But another thing that I like, and one of the quotes I heard from Bishop Hilliard, which is to paint it on the canvas of your imagination, right? Like I want every night, paint on your canvas of your imagination what that lifestyle looks like, because that is going to help your hunger so that when you decide you want to be lazy, you can think about, oh no, I need to walk into that room. I need to seal these contracts. Like that's going to help you when you need to close these deals in these meetings and you feel like being lazy and you feel like not shooting for your goals like you should. It's going to push you, because I can think about, what, I may not have kids yet, but I do know that if I want to have if I want 3 kids, about 1.5 million minimum for college, right? I want to have at least 1.5 million strictly saved for them for college. Okay. So in that, Okay, that's why I need to close these deals, because that's the bigger picture, right? If I want to be the stay-at-home mom homemaker and I want to have to worry about, these different kind of companies, I want to sell some of these companies, that's the bigger picture. So that is what pushes me. So what pushes you? And do not forget that. Okay, guys? So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight's live on Instagram. It will be deleted, this live. However, it is on my YouTube channel. Okay, so you can go to YouTube and just type in my name, just as Dorsey, or type in Print School, and the video content will come up. Same thing for Facebook. Actually, I'll keep the Facebook one up, but definitely YouTube. Guys, I will see you guys later. If you have any questions, if you want coaching, if you want consulting, if you just want to talk, my DMs on Instagram are now where I'm trying to push people to. Okay, so don't be nervous to say hello. Don't be nervous to shoot your shot. When I say that, I don't mean like romantically. Okay, I mean like just like asking a question. Okay, but you guys have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be back on Facebook this weekend. Last but not least, this Saturday is my Yatsar Entrepreneurship Bible Study. So we will be meeting in Wilmington, Delaware, which is where my office space is. And we're going to be doing from 11 o'clock to 12:30 is our Entrepreneurship Bible Study. And so if you have not gotten your seat for it, you can go to my website, which is justdorsey.com/Yatsar, which is YATSAR. Again, that is YATSAR. We're going to be focusing on this weekend my father's business. If you cannot make it or do not live in Delaware, you can type in Yatsar. I think it's just what is it? It's Instagram just shut off. What is it called? Just you should know this, huh? Because I want to make sure I get this. Okay, so it is Yatsar, YATSAR Bible Study. Be sure to like the page. We will be streaming this weekend. Again, we are from 11 to 12:30. Okay, guys? I will see you guys later. It has been a pleasure talking to you guys. Again, be blessed. Be sure to do your homework. I'll be back next week. Bye, guys. See you later, alligator.